And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Erin Matt's our guest. She is the executive director of the United Way of the Valley and Greater Utica. It wasn't always that name. It used to be the Greater Utica, and then there was a name change. And I want to take us back to days gone by, I guess. But it's the Valley and Greater Utica. And usually that's turned around a little bit because you don't see the Valley first on many of these names. Usually Utica's in there and then the Valley.
That's true. And that name came to be when we merged with United Way and Herkimer. So we were bringing their name in first before Utica.
Yeah. What is the geographical area that...
we serve residents in Oneida and Herkimer County.
And all the cities in there.
That's right. Yeah.
And what are the member agencies that you are supporting, that the United Way is supporting, Erin?
We have 34 agencies that we actually partner with and fund, just over 40 programs. So some of those agencies run more than one program that we fund, but 34 agencies in Oneida and Herkimer County.
I'm not going to test your memory, but is the Boy Scouts still one?
So they were a long-standing agency that was funded. There was a brief period of time where we were concerned with the lack of respect for diversity. That has since resolved itself, so they will be an agency that is potentially funded again.
And how do you make decisions like if a particular not-for-profit qualifies for United Way funding?
So there is a process that agencies go through. We do a 2-year funding cycle, so they don't have to apply every year for their funds, which I've heard from our partner agencies is valuable because, of course, they don't want to spend their time necessarily fundraising if we can do that for them. But so when they apply, there is an application that they are filling out, and they're providing information to make sure that, that we know that the programs that they're running are making an impact, which, of course, all of them are. We have so much respect for the partner agencies that we work with and the work that they do, but we're just trying to do the due diligence behind the scenes to make sure that their organizations are strong and their money is doing what they're saying that it's going to do.
Give us a couple, or as many as you want, of the groups that you're partnering up with in funding.
Sure. So of those agencies, and I've had the wonderful privilege of meeting with them since I started in this role, like you said, back in March. I haven't gotten to all of them yet, but a couple that folks will know and recognize. So, of course, we work with RCIL, we work with Hope House, with the YWCA, with Kids Oneida. Those are all certainly organizations that folks in the community will recognize. ARC Health, just to name a few. But
When these agencies partner up with United Way, isn't there some kind of an agreement, Erin, that you will provide them funding, but they don't fundraise during certain periods? Is that the way it is?
Yeah, there are certain blackout periods, and really the point of that is so that we don't get into a situation of increasing donor fatigue. So, we live in an area where there are a finite number of larger donors. And we don't want to be in a position of, competing for dollars with our agencies, because of course that's not the point. The point is for us to help them do more of the great work that they already do. So that's the reason for that.
Is the United Way calling for volunteers for committees?
That is a good question. Always looking for folks to be involved, certainly, and our committees are one way to do that. So yeah, I would say that the invitation is always open to the community to get involved in a number of different ways, whether it's from a volunteer perspective for some of the events that we run, or it's on the committees. Yeah, that's always an open invitation.
The Ready for Kindergarten, you mentioned that to me before the show. Talk about Ready for Kindergarten.
Yeah, so one of the things that United Way has started doing recently, really just in the past year and a half, so before my time, but certainly well within the recent past. So not only do we put dollars hard to work with the agencies that we work with in our community, but we also have a couple of small initiatives that we run. One of those is Ready for Kindergarten. The reason why I mentioned it is because we're about a year and a half in, but seeing really positive results. And I think it's an opportunity to certainly collaborate with agencies in our community as well to build that program out. There's lots of stakeholders at the table right now, from OHM BOCES to superintendents, school principals. We have work that we're doing recently with SUNY Poly and CNY Health Homes in terms of developing assessments to gauge whether kids are truly ready for kindergarten and set up for success in their education.
On the other end of the spectrum, we have the free income tax preparation that United Way is involved with. Somebody from your agency was on here not too long ago talking about that. How's that going?
That's great, and that's something that we've been doing for a number of years. It essentially puts money right back into our local economy. We're very grateful for our partnership with RCIL on that initiative, and that's something that we absolutely want to continue to do, but that's another great example of some of the work we're doing other than just funding agencies in the community.
Speaking of dollars, how much of a budget are we talking about for the United Way?
From a campaign perspective right now, we're just hovering right around $2 million. And so that is the money that ultimately, goes between all of these things.
And your campaigns go from when to when?
So they used to run really in a set period, kind of only in the fall, and we've changed that in recent years to accommodate a number of different companies that we work with. So now our campaign typically kicks off in late August, so look for that this year. And runs really, through the majority of the year from that point on. So we're closing up things now.
And was there a goal? I should know this. Was there a goal for last year?
There was a goal. It was just over $2 million. We are looking at totals right now just under $2 million. So certainly, if you feel inclined to give and to be a part of the work that we're doing to make an impact, it's not too late.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll take a short break, and we'll come back and we'll talk more with Erin Matt. She is the Executive Director of the United Way. Short break, right back.